Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Chantel and today we're going to be cooking. Today I'm going to show you how to make meatballs. And believe it or not, you can make meatballs in a couple of different ways. You can add them to certain ingredients as well. So you can make these in bulk, cook them, and then freeze them and pop them out of the freezer whenever you feel like using them for a particular recipe. We have our grated Parmesan cheese, about a cup. I zested, or I should say grated, a half an onion. And there's a lot of juice that comes out of that. And so you want to squeeze all that juice out, and that way you're just left with the tiny little pieces of the onion. When you bite into a meatball, you don't really just want to bite into a big chunk of onion, so that's why I always zest it, or grate it I should say. The garlic, that one I zested, and that's 2 cloves of garlic. Again, you want to make sure that you don't bite into a big chunk of garlic. I have 2 eggs that I've already cracked open, and about 2 pounds of ground meat. So your meat mixture, you can use 50-50 pork and beef if you wanted to. You can just use all beef. If you want it lighter, you can just use turkey if you wanted to. So whatever meat you want for your meatballs, go right ahead. Whatever's on sale that day at the grocery store, go ahead. We also have spinach. So in this meatballs recipe, I'm actually going to be doing it 3 different ways. One of them, meatball subs, delicious, spaghetti meatballs, and then Italian wedding soup, mini meatballs. There's spinach in that, but I'm also going to finally chop up the spinach, put it in the meatball mixture. The kids will think it's parsley. They'll never know that they're eating their spinach. And then I also have my handy dandy scoopers. The little one is for the mini meatballs for the soup, and the bigger one is for our regular size meatballs for our spaghetti meatballs and our subs. So let's get chopping. Okay. You can't taste the spinach in here, and you don't want to add too much because there's a lot of water that actually will come off with the spinach, believe it or not, and you don't want your meatballs to be too watery. So we're going to bake them as well, and you can finish cooking them in the soup if you wanted to, or you can freeze them. So however many meatballs you want to make, if you like making them in bulk, very, very good to freeze them. That's what I end up doing anyways. I end up freezing the majority of them. So, all right, this is almost chopped up here. You want to make sure that it's really fine, because then you don't want the kids biting into a meatball and, Mom, is this really parsley? So, all right, so let's add that in here in our meat mixture. The big pieces I'll just leave out, and I'll put that in the soup after. All right. So we're gonna add it's about a half an onion. The onion was about this size, so that should tell you roughly. And when you grate this, make sure you squeeze all that juice out. It's gonna create a lot of onion juice, and yes, you're gonna cry. So that's why I did that before the camera. Our garlic, very, very finely zested. All right, we're gonna add our 2 eggs, our cup of Parmesan, and then you can also add breadcrumbs. You can make your own breadcrumbs. You can use store-bought breadcrumbs, or you can get a couple slices of bread, soak it in milk, and then take that out and then just crumble up the moistened bread, and that will help as your binder as well. So let me go and I'm gonna grab just approximately a half a cup. So we'll see if that will be enough, okay? We're going to add some basil. So just sprinkle lots of seasoning here. Now the trick is that you obviously can't taste the raw meat mixture if you have enough seasoning. So if you can smell it after you've mixed everything together, go ahead and smell it. If you can smell a lot of seasoning, that's a good trick to let you know that you have enough seasoning. This is parsley. If you don't smell much, add some more seasoning. That's just one of the tricks. Or if you want, you can actually cook and just cook a little tiny amount, a small little meatball in your pan, and see if there's enough seasoning in there. This is fresh cracked pepper. I like using the fresh cracked pepper. All right, so let's pick up our mess here. Move this out of the way. And when oh, this is getting heavy now. So with this, yes, our best tools are our hands. So, but I'm going to take my ring off. Don't want getting anything stuck in there. Gloves, believe it or not, I like using my gloves too because it just makes cleanup a little easier on the hands. Yes, I still wash my hands afterwards, but just makes it a lot easier. All right, so let's just get in here and start mixing. It smells delicious. All the different spices, the garlic, everything, it's delicious in here. All right. Now, when you cook, you're gonna turn your oven on, preset it at 375, and they don't take long to cook at all, so about 20 minutes max, depending on how big the meatballs are, okay? So, you can make your own homemade spaghetti sauce, your marinara sauce or whatever, to go with your meatballs. And then with that as well, you can bake your meatballs and finish cooking them in the sauce. It will add flavor to the sauce as well as adding flavor to the meatballs, and they stay moist that way because they're cooking in a liquid. So this is looking really good. Starting to finally combine everything all together. So I'm not quite sure how many meatballs in total. I've never counted actually my meatballs, believe it or not. So depends if I'm making just all large meatballs or small and large. So never really counted. Whew, this is really combining and smelling delicious now. Meatball subs is the kitty's favorite. The Italian wedding soup is one of my favorites. And then the old-fashioned spaghetti and meatballs is the hubby's favorite. So, I don't know about you, but I tend to make more than one meal per meal time, if that makes sense. Somebody doesn't like this or doesn't like that. So if I'm using one main ingredient, then why not make it into a multi-purpose? So that's what I do a lot here. So the soup you can freeze as well. So you can make a big pot of that if you just want to make lots of little tiny meatballs. That freezes very well. So, all right, this is all combined together. Some of the spinach is still, all right, I want to make sure that the spinach is all incorporated evenly and not big clumps. And that's pretty much it. All right, so I can definitely smell the seasoning, everything together in here combined, which is a good thing. So yeah, that means it's gonna taste delicious, but that's a little trick in case you're wondering, because you never want to eat this raw. That's when you can get sick. All right, so okay, now I could take the gloves off or keep them on, either or. So let's get a tray. Okay. All right, I'm gonna take one glove off here. That's the end for that one. I want to spray actually this so it doesn't stick on the bottom of the pan. Okay. All right, so let's make some big ones for now. Okay, and yes, they're gonna be all even, and I'm gonna have to roll these, so one naked hand, it's all right. Okay, so here we go. That's fine. I like using my scoopers. It makes them all uniform, all nice and even. It's a good thing. All right, one down, however many to go, we'll find out. All right, we filled up our tray with our big meatballs, and now we're gonna go ahead and scoop with our small scooper for our soup. All right, so now we finally got the mini ones ready, and now we're just gonna go ahead and put them in the oven. In the oven they go, 375 until golden brown. So here are your cooked meatballs. Easy, simple recipe. We have our small ones for our soup and our larger ones for whatever you want. Pasta, like spaghetti meatballs or your meatball sub or whatever your little heart desires. So I hope you enjoy this recipe, and I hope you subscribe, follow me, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm going to be posting up some more cooking videos. I will be posting how to make the Italian wedding soup and a good, wholesome, delicious meatball sub with ooby gooey cheese. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Thanks, guys.